So I'll bring us out of the field, but I'm gonna have someone take us off the field when we're all wrapped up and we're all done. So I saw this on Missed Appointment Setter's page. I think Andrea reshared it. A couple people commented on it, but I thought it was really powerful. And so I want to share this with you. It's nothing too big, but just want to get the mind working and getting in the right direction. So it says, stop. Let me let George in really quick. Stop jumping into a hustle thinking it's supposed to pop off. You can't cheat the grind. You can't cheat the hard work. People shed blood, sweat, and tears to make this look easy. I wrote here, and this is something I learned a long time ago from Tony Robbins. We're rewarded in public for what we practice hours and hours in silence. Or excuse me, let me say that one more time. We're rewarded in public for what we practice on for hours behind the scenes and in silence. So when we think about this, you guys, there's a lot of glorification to this business. There's a lot of like bawling out that you see, but at the end of the day, like, don't discount the grind, don't discount the hustle, because there's so much behind the scenes that goes into the final reward of like, oh my God, I'm in contract, or oh my God, I just closed on this home. So stop jumping into hustle thinking it's supposed to just pop off. So I want to share that with you. That was my thoughts from the morning. So let's go ahead and get after it. So we have some guests on the line today. Wherever you're dialing in from, wherever you are in the country, wherever you are in the world, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing some time and some energy with us on this beautiful Friday morning. So I had two things I want to talk about. I learned tons over the last couple of days. We're not going to talk about rev share. We're not going to go down the whole path right now, but I do want to share this one statement with you. So there was a guy in a room. His name's Rob Flick. He has the most people in his organization out of anybody in the entire company. And mind you, EXP just reached 78,000 people. Okay, so think about this just for context. When we think about this contextually, he has, check this out, 20,000 people in his organization. Okay, mind blowing. So if we were just to do simple math here, what do you guys think that equates to passive income, supplemental income every single month? What do you think that equates to? Anybody have any guesses? Anyone want to take themselves off of mute? Anyone want to share what they think that number is? I'm talking a month. I'm not talking for the year.
Enough to never need to work again.
Say again?
Enough to never need to work again.
Enough to never need to work again.
10 million.
A million.
No, so it's about a 1.75 every single month. Every single month. All right. So he's on stage. He's talking in front of us. Like, he wears the old Hawaiian shirt, didn't have no fancy shoes on, some old shorts, and he's just up there and he just starts talking about his journey. He was here when there was 500 people at EXP. And he started to get emotional because his daughter was never a good student in school. And so he told his daughter that if you were able to graduate, that he was going to buy her a property. She's an equestrian. She's always rode horses, and all she wants to do is have a property where she can ride her horses. Well, he was able to buy her this house that was like 20 acres, 10 stalls for her horses, to where now she is running a business and showing other people how to be an equestrian and how to ride horses. And she has this big giant facility that he went and bought for her, and he bought it cash. And literally he was crying. So it wasn't about the money that he's made. It's like, my impact in this world is how many people can I help? And if I help enough people in the world, the byproduct of that is I'm probably going to make a lot of money. And so his whole focus and his whole goal was just to put people on and just to help those around him and share with people the big vision. And to think like that, you guys, like, he's in his late 60s. He beat cancer. He was a triple bypass survivor last couple of years. And to think like that's the legacy that he's going to be able to leave for his kids, for his daughter, for his grandbabies, is like, my money that I'm making from this company is now setting up my future grandbabies and great grandbabies. He's like, I'm not going to leave them too much though, because I never want them to forget hard work and what it takes to be successful. I'm not going to leave them too much, but I'm going to leave them enough so they don't have to worry about life and what's going to happen to have that security. So I thought that was really, really powerful. So I wanted to share that with you and kind of go into the premise of my conversation today. A lot of times, you guys, when we're thinking about our presentation, our skills in booking appointments on the phone, when it comes to our listing presentation, when it comes to our buyer's presentation, right? We get a call from a $2 million buyer And what do? They say, oh, or excuse me, $2 million seller. They say, I want to sell my home in Danville. And all of a sudden what happens is that we're rushing to put together this dialogue to make sure that we are, hey, can someone mute themselves? I just got someone that came on. I can't see where it is and I'm getting background noise. Okay, cool. What we do is we procrastinate and we wait, right? We wait until like we get that call. Needs to be something that is done every single day. I had a call yesterday. Hey, I have an appointment. I have an opportunity, right? And it's like the last minute rushing, it's going to not serve you and not serve the consumer. So let us not be men or women of procrastination. If you want leads, you need to practice. If you have a buyer call, you have to practice. If you have a listed appointment, you have to practice. And you have to say these things out loud. It's one thing like writing, preparing a speech, preparing a presentation, putting together all these cool slides. And oh my God, I got this great high note presentation that I designed, right? Cool. Well, have you ever said it out loud, right? Are you able to articulate that, right? When we go to these conferences and we're preparing to speak, you guys, I'm in my hotel room speaking out loud. I'm in my car speaking out loud. So when we get on stage, like, I don't feel like I'm practicing in front of the big audience. So you guys have to do the same thing with all levels of your business. I don't care if you're on this call and you've done 20 deals this year. I don't care if you did $50 million in production last year. The greatest people in this business are the ones that are constantly practicing role-playing, and it gets monotonous. However, you can walk into any scenario and be super, super crisp. So that's what I want for you guys. Do not be a man or woman of procrastination because that's going to hurt you. It's going to catch up. Also, it'll show up in other areas of your life. So I heard this yesterday and I wanted to share it with you. And I thought that this was really, really cool. And we're all experiencing this, but it's a different paradigm shift in the way you guys are thinking about things. So I heard this and I thought it was powerful. So I want to share, stop checking in with clients. And I know that it goes against the grain from everything that you've ever probably been taught in real estate, but I definitely want you to just to have this conversation with me. Stop checking in, because what does checking in demonstrate? Checking in demonstrates that you may not have a plan or course of action as to what's coming next in the process of sales, right? Hi, just checking in with you, Ted. How are you? Great. Cool. Anything going on? Awesome. I'm just checking in, right? And so you're basically trying to stumble your way into a conversation, right? So you have the conversation of, hey, I'm just checking in hopes that I stumble on an opportunity to then continue my communication with the client, and then in hopes to do something, whether it's go show another home, help them in the process, whatever that is. This is why I believe, and what's it say here? If we're going fishing, remember to bring the bait. Yeah, I love this. So next step, every single time that you have a communication with the client, and some of you guys, it's going to be back to basics. Some of you guys, it's going to be new information. There should always be the perpetual baton pass to yourself. What do I mean? I just showed you a home. What is the very next thing that we do before we leave the home? We book for what? Anybody want to say it out loud?
Next appointment.
Next appointment, which is generally what?
Buyer consultation.
Buyer's consultation. So what you're doing is you're setting the expectation for what's coming next, right? Hey, Dan, I just wanted to call and follow up with you. I know last Tuesday, we set you up with the lender over at JVM. You guys were set to meet on Thursday, and I want to follow up and see what that conversation was like and make sure that you got all of your documents over to JVM. Where are you guys at and how was that conversation, right? Does that sound different versus me saying, hey, Vanessa, just wanted to check in, right? Stumbling around. Maybe she's going to give me something good that I could actually have a conversation with her about that's actually going to lead to something that's positive, right? Stop stumbling into conversation with consumers and get clear and focused as what we are going to do. And here is what's next. Every single time that you talk to a consumer, never leave a conversation, never leave an appointment without the next step. You're constantly passing on the next step. Take you through this. Booked an appointment. Cool. Next step, what we're going to do is I'm going to meet you at 123 Main Street. After this phone call, you guys are going to get a text message from me. I'm also going to send you a buyer CMA and the flow for our tour tomorrow. Cool,
Okay.
we did the tour. I don't like that home. It's dog shit. It's not for me. Didn't like the smell of the house, whatever that is. Awesome. What's the next step? We're now going to do a buyer's consultation. Perfect. Once we do the buyer's consultation, now I'm going to set you up on Real Scout. Now I'm going to start sending you homes that fit your criteria. Once they see more homes that they like and they want to write an offer, now what are we doing? The next step is we're going to hop on a Zoom call. We're going to go over comps. We're going to go over disclosures. Now, once I've created that, once we have our number, what I'm going to do is I'm put together the RPA, which is the residential purchase agreement, and we're going to do one more final Zoom call before we actually submit that to the sellers, right? So it's every step of the way, there's like a baton pass to yourself, and you're setting the consumer up and setting the consumer up. So premise of the conversation is stop checking in. Next step, homes we're going to go see. Have you followed up with the lender? Want to follow up for that meeting that we're going to have coffee at Pete's on Saturday. I wanted to follow up with you, Benjamin, to really reestablish a new game plan based on the ever-changing market conditions right now in the Bay Area. We've been seeing houses, we've been getting knocked on the chin, so I think it's time that we slow down and readjust our game plan. Let's do this next, right? Every single conversation is a perpetual baton pass to yourself and to the client, so they always know what is happening, what is happening, what is happening. So stop fishing for an opportunity to have a conversation with your clients. Give them the next step and give that to them at every single time. And I wrote some notes here from what I learned. Audit the future calls. You have to look at this. If I'm going to make a bunch of calls to past clients or people I've been working at, people that are in my Op City, my OJO, my Zillow or open house leads, whatever those leads are, you need to audit your future calls and say, do I have the next step in this relationship, right? Do I understand what would be the next step when I make this call? If you don't understand that, then audit it, take some notes and be really, really prepared. Okay, with Ben, his next steps are he needs to get a lender who's waiting on a document from HR. I want to make sure that he did that. I want to call him. Hey, Ben, I want to touch base with you. How are you? How are the kids? Good. Hey, really quick, I know that you said you need to get a document from your HR department or you needed to get X, Y, and Z. Were you able to do that? I know we spoke by last Thursday. You're going to have that. Was that able to get? Cool. When are you getting that to the lender? Perfect. Here's what I want to do. I have a house that I just saw at 123 Main Street. I think you guys are going to like it. We're a little early, but I think that you guys should see that. Hopefully you get that documentation in quickly, right? Do you have an audit of the future calls that you're going to make? And so when you sit down, you have a direction and where the relationship is going to build. And so I thought it's simple, right? It's not something that is too crazy, but it allows you to give your clients some direction every single time that you're talking to them. Any thoughts on that? Any dialogue? Anybody want to chime in? I saw a couple people chiming in the chat. Anybody have anything that they want to share? Thoughts, dialogue, insight on this topic? Going once, going twice. You guys are quiet this morning. Quiet this morning. All right, cool. So does that make sense though? Can somebody give me a reaction and some participation at a high level? Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Elias, obviously you're great on everything you said, but you always to have the next appointment. You always have to know the clients. Now, in my case, 19 years, a lot of my clients, I've known them for a long time, but you're absolutely right. There are times that lead comes to the websites, they're new. So I have to build that rapport by saying all of that stuff that, hey, have you sat down with the lender? Okay, yeah, exactly. I had one a couple months ago that said, listen, I'm new in this department, so I have to get a letter from my HR department. He worked for a state and he said they work slowly. I said, well, please work on that. So you always need to remind them what's the next step is, as you said. So make it brief. You just have to show that you're on top of the game when you're talking to them, and that way they feel confidence in your ability to get it done. Found the house. I know we're still a couple of days away, but I'm looking for you guys, so all of that.
Absolutely. And it's like the re-strategy and the re-game plan, especially with interest rates going up. I want you guys to make sure that you have a new pre-approval letter. I want to make sure that that is fresh. And I want you to make sure that you understand what the budget is if your monthly has gone up a little bit, because I want you guys to be prepared for that. Have you guys had that conversation? Awesome. Let's get that done. I want you guys to make sure you know what your buying power is right now with this ever-changing market. I want to make sure that we're adjusting. I want to make sure that we understand the game plan. So like I said, it's a perpetual baton pass. Ernesto will go to you, Dan will go to you, and then Jim will go to you next.
I was trying to bail you out when you needed some participation, but I've been in the office a couple of days this week and just impromptu having like live role play demonstrations with newer agents, and I'll take a step back and say, like, I've had to intentionally get better at this as well. So if you feel like you're not good at this, that's okay. If you choose to get better at it, then you can improve at it if you're willing to put some time into it. So for me, one of the biggest things, so you said one of the keywords, next. The word next implies that you have a plan. I always tell people, you know, when I first meet them, like, my role in this situation as your realtor, I'm a Sherpa. I will guide you up and down Mount Everest. I'm not going to convince you to climb Mount Everest. I'm not trying to sell you on this dream of what it looks like from the top. If you want to go there, I will get you to the top. So I'm going to always tell you what happens next. But when it comes to calling somebody, the most important word for me is the word because. Unless I have a reason in the conversation, I'm calling because I shouldn't call them. I don't call people and say, hey, I'm just checking in. I want to see how you're doing. Quick story, there was an agent before I got licensed. I don't know where he is now. His name is Nash Middleman. If you ever see him, Mittleman, Nash Middleman. He was at Keller Williams, and he called me every 3 months. And like, I told him, I was like, Nash, as a aspiring agent myself, I respect the shit out of your follow-up game, but dude, you have nothing useful for me. Like, please, like, no offense. Like, I don't want to tell you what's going on in my life every 3 months that you call. So unless you have something that includes the word, hey, I'm calling because, like, I have a reason, then just don't call people.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And an audit of the future calls, right? If I know I'm going to be calling 15 of my leads, I need to audit where I'm going and what is the next step in that relationship, right? Do I have something that can build off of the relationship? And most of the times the answer is yes. So Dan, you had your hand up, bro. Let's go to you.
Yeah, so I was just going to elaborate on the if you're going to go fishing, bring bait comments, like really related exactly to what you're saying. And if you're making, prospecting calls, one of the things I always try to think of and is bring something of value that will at least get the conversation started. So like spending 30 seconds or a minute, pop on the MLS and just find a home. Doesn't matter if it's going to be the exact fit, but calling someone and saying like, hey, I just saw this house. I was browsing around. I saw this house and I thought of you. I wanted to reach out. This might not be for you, but I saw this house and wanted to bring it to your attention. Or for sellers, always looking at what's sold in their neighborhood, or is there a pending that just came on, calling the listing agent, but like bringing some contribution. So when you call, you've got at least a little bit of information, even if it's not something that they're going to bite on, but something that they will feel like you're bringing them value.
No, absolutely. Absolutely love that. Jim, you had your hand up. Tom, hey, Tom, can you mute yourself, bro? Let me see if I can mute Tom. All right, there we go. Jim, you had your hand up, bro. Let's go over to you.
Yeah, so very similar to what Ernesto was saying, call in with a goal in mind, and also call in with some information. Put yourself as a consumer yourself. And if you get this call, and someone just wants to check in with you and say, hey, what do you want? Think about that. Put yourself in their shoes. Say, hey, if you're going to call me, give me some info. What can I work with and whatnot? So yeah, same thing as Ernesto, like what he said.
As much as you've built a relationship, and some of you have clients that you're super, super close with, and let's not discount that, right? I'm not talking about that. But at the end of the day, you're not their best friend. You're not their homie, right? You're not there just yet, right? They want to know like, okay, cool. Hector, you're calling me. Like what they have an expectation that you're going to bring something to the table. When I call my friends, I can just be like, what's up, Cam? What are you doing? Nothing. Me neither. I'm just drinking some coffee, just hanging out. I can have that conversation with my homies. But when I call a consumer, if I'm doing an audit of that future call, am I progressing that relationship forward? You have to mentally prepare for that and understand where you're going. So I thought it was a really good conversation. Anybody else have some thoughts and dialogue in this conversation? No? Going once? Going
I did.
twice?
I have my hand up.
Yeah, brother.
I just want to go back to the interest rates and just being prepared. Yesterday, I seen Donna post a post saying that someone's buyers were approved a few months ago, but just recently they didn't qualify. So for some of us new ones, maybe next week we could do some role playing on that a little bit, or maybe something like that.
In what context? Like role playing, like how to broach that conversation with consumers?
With your clients, just what to say to make them feel more comfortable with moving forward with the rates going and stuff. I know we've been chiming in on it a little bit, but maybe some, on the spot flies we do,
Yeah, no, I think this is really good. And I think that, like I said, the mastery of your dialogue is going to separate you from every other person out there. So I agree with this. I think it's an important conversation. So yeah, let's get something on the calendar. So any other thoughts on this topic? All right, cool. I'm going to have everybody, if you can, if you are not driving, we're going to do a quick little exercise together. And this is a great time of the year because it's the start of Q2. Now, if you've been with me for some time, we've done this before, but I think that it's important that we continue to do this as an exercise every quarter. And let me pull up my screen really quick. All right, guys. So this here is called the Productivity Multiplier. And we've done this quite a few times. If you don't have this, and if you don't have the ability to write, it's okay. I'll make sure to put this in Slack that we guys have this. So you're going to make yourself a T, 4 squares. And in the top left, it's number 1, and that is the truth. So just write that if you have the ability to do so. In the second, in the bottom left corner, it's going to be reflections. In the bottom corner, it's going to be revision. And then the top one is going to be your micro commitments. On the bottom, it's going to be the reflection date. And in the context of this conversation, I want the reflection date to be from January 1st to April 1st, or the end of Q1, right? And then as we take our revision date, let's look at just a bite-sized chunk of the year. Let's just take the next 3 months. I'll explain this so it all makes sense. So number 1, the truth. Right now, when you look at your production, when you look at the amount of appointments that you have, look at the amount of traction that you have in your business, what is the current truth about your business and what do your results say, right? And I think this is a powerful introspective question because it allows you to say, you know what, if I'm going to just be honest with myself right now, and if I'm looking at this based on my current production, like, what is the truth about my production? What does it say, right? So number 1 is the truth. Number 2, over the past 3 months, what are some of the reflections that you've had on the business? I've identified that I procrastinate. I identified that I don't procrastinate. I identified that I need new discipline. I identified that I need to prospect more. I identified that my dialogue isn't that great. I identified that I don't know how to overcome objections. I've identified that I don't know how to do a listing presentation. I identified that I'm not good at the math. I identified that I'm not good at pulling comps. Whatever that is, you guys, I'm throwing shit out there. I'm freestyling with you, right? So let's look back over the last 3 months and do some true reflections. Once we've done that reflection, now, does the vision that you had for the last 3 months support where you're going for the next 3 months? Or is it time to get a new vision and revise the way that you're thinking? Do I need to go about this different? Before, I might have had a vision to say, you know what, I'm going to close 12 deals. I'm going to do this. Well, if I look at the truth of my actual production, it doesn't say that. If I look at my reflections, I really didn't do the things that were going to get me to what I said my vision was. So was that the right vision for you and your business? And I can't answer that. You need to answer that. Or is it time to give myself a revision for the next 3 months, right? I'm going to give myself a revision. It's going to say, you know what? All I'm going to do for the next 3 months is I'm going to focus on waking up an hour earlier. I'm going to dedicate myself to 1 hour at least minimum, rain, snow, or shine, of prospecting every single day. And I'm going to practice my dialogue with Jim 2 times a week. That's my revision, right? I had a different vision before, but if I look at the truth of my business, it really didn't come to fruition. If I reflect back, there's some things that I didn't do and I could have done better at. So now it's time to revise that vision. But if it's supporting you and it's working with you, then stay the course. And then 4, What are my micro commitments, right? When you think of your micro commitments, these are things that you know you can adjust every single day that are very, very small. I'm not talking big, giant, huge, changes in who you are as a human being. I'm talking micro little steps in your business, micro steps, right? Who was it? Lisa Chavez. My micro commitment was to wake up 1 hour earlier. She hates waking up in the morning. But when you think about what this does for her and how much more productive she's going to be and how much more time she has in the day, it's actually doing good things for her. I know she does it kicking and screaming sometimes, but the point is, like, now you have these micro commitments. So when you look at this, you stack and stack and stack and stack. This is the compound effect. Your first year in this business is all about grind. The second year in this business should all be about growth. And the third and moving on should all be about explosion. How can my business explode, right? So I understand everyone's at different stages in their business, but I want you to really be honest with yourself. And I want you to examine the relationship with yourself. And this one's powerful, you guys. I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it twice. Examine your relationship with your word. Fuck, I heard that, you guys, and it meant so much to me. Let me say it one more time. Examine your relationship with your word. Okay, so you guys, when you think about that, there's so many times that we have said, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I didn't do shit, and then I felt bad, and then I beat myself up. And then I'm like resentful, and I'm like, I'm frustrated, right? I'm frustrated. I don't want you guys operating out of frustration, but like when I wrote that down, like examine your relationship with your word. Like I thought that was super, super powerful. So I wanted to share those thoughts with you. Now that you guys have the success or the productivity multiplier, now you know the truth about your business, right? You look at the reflections, you look at your revision, and then you look at your micro commitments. And you look at your date frame, which you're analyzing, and then the date frame of your revision, which is going to be the next 3 months. Where are you at? Does anybody want to share what their tea looks like? Does anyone want to share? And it's okay. This is an open environment. There is no judgment here. Ted, I'm going to mute you really quick. Maria, you're always full of emotion. I see you up and down. And hey, lots of positive feedback on the little clip of you last week. So I want to go to you. I want to hear from you and kind of hear where your thoughts are. And then we're going to kind of work our way around the room.
Okay, so my truth is that I closed one escrow in Q1. I put 2 new escrows in Q1. And my reflections is that I haven't done enough activity to create the results that I want. So, because what you do today reflects 60 days out.
Yep. So
obviously last quarter, Q4, I didn't do enough to produce what I was received last quarter. So I need to do more prospecting, and not prospecting in my sphere of influence, prospecting for new stuff, new people. My revision is I'm going to practice scripts for open houses, follow up in my database, meaning something of value. And those are the only 2.
Cool. I love it. I love it. And awesome. I love this. Who else wants to chime in on their tea? Who has something that they want to be vulnerable with? Share. This is an open dialogue. I want to hear from you guys because this is important. I lost you for a second there, Maria. Your audio went out.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Perfect. Okay. So micro commitment, 1 hour a week for agent attraction, because I'm looking at long-term wealth. So that's like 1 agent a day. That's not rocket science. And that's really all that I have right now. But what I love, you said something about examine yourself, examine your word. I love that. So I'm reading a book. I just finished it. I'm sorry. The Gap and the Gain. And I recommend people to read that, because we commit to things and then we feel bad, right? So we're looking at the gap. We're looking at, oh my God, I didn't accomplish my goal. look at the gain. How far did you come from where you started? So look at, yes, reevaluate, but also reevaluate in the sense of I've come so far from where I started.
I love this. I love this. You guys, that was one of the most powerful things that I learned over the last couple of days, was examine your relationship with your word. So Maria, let's do a quick survey, and this goes for everyone. Right now, and we do this, and I'm going to say it over and over again. On a scale from 1 to 10, if I was to survey you on your general understanding of EXP, the benefits, services, and what this company offers, I think that your comprehension of that is pretty high. So if you had to rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you rank yourself on just your simple comprehension of what this company offers? Where would you rank yourself? Maria, that question is for you.
I'm sorry. I would probably say like a 6 or a 7, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, cool. That's pretty high. All right. So let's do the same thing. How would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 in your ability to convey the message about what you comprehend to other agents? Where would you rank your comprehension, or excuse me, your ability to convey this message and articulate it well?
I would say about the same, 6 or 7. I mean, I'm pretty excited about EXP, and I'm super excited about Team Fast. So
good. I love that. And here's the thing. Watch the model explain over and over and over again to the point of exhaustion. Just literally watch that. Because for most people, it's like, most people can't sit down and share that conversation. And what happens is that we EXP on people. I heard this.
yes.
Right? So we EXP on people. When at the end of the day, most agents in the immediate just want to know how can they sell a little bit more real estate, right? But when you're here, you can sell more real estate. We have tools to help you. We have support to help you sell more real estate. And you also have this ability to build something called rev share. So at the end of the day, like, meet the agent where they are at. You don't have to EXP on everybody. So Aaliyah, you had your hand up. Let's go to you.
So the question was, can you repeat the question, please?
It wasn't a question. It was just kind of seeing where you were at on your T, if you wanted to.
Oh, yes. Okay. So yesterday I went to a little EXP networking event. It was with Brent Go. So it was like the rev share type thing.
Yeah.
But one thing that he said that really stood out to me is just, he was, I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of like, he's just failed more than more agents. And he begs his kids to just fail more. If you just fail more, you'll be more successful. So my goal is to fail more.
I love it.
Does that make sense though?
It makes complete sense. You know, it makes sense. Absolutely. But you know, it's just like cold calling, right? It's like, oh God, I hate cold calling. Well, no. I'm going to call. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get really, really good at it because I'm doing it enough, right? So go to hell. I don't want to talk to you. Stop calling, right? Yeah, we're actually thinking about buying next month. Yes, finally, right? Because you took all the knocks on the chin in order to finally get somebody that wants to talk to you. So Aaliyah, let me ask you a question. How will you fail today?
Today I'm going to, shoot, I don't know. Actually, I'm kind of winning today already. So I woke up early. I went to a workout early in the morning. That's a win already. So
yeah, it is. Well, you know what?
Maybe I'll make some calls. I got to make my calls and I'll get told no.
That's right. Listen, you guys, in baseball, if you literally strike out 7 times and you get 3 hits out of 10, you're a great baseball player. You're a great baseball player. So I absolutely love it. And yes, Ernesto, that is. So Jesse, my man, we have a celebrity on the line today. He's kind of a big deal. His house reeks of rich mahogany and leather-bound books. Very big deal. You know, here's the cool thing about this business is that you go to these events and you socialize and you meet people. I had never met Jesse, and we met in San Diego, and we have formed a brotherhood and a friendship. And I didn't even know you were going to be on here. So Jesse, my man, dude, if you want to just take the mic and say some shit, bro, it's really good to see you. And for people that don't know Jesse, follow him, Mr. Social Savvy. He does amazing things on his social content. So Jesse, let's hear from you, bro. Good to have you here, man. And
What's up, Elias?
What's up, big dog?
What's up, Fast Forward? I'll tell you this. I was supposed to be on a call with Elias.
Well, hold on. This isn't Fast Forward. This is Fast Real Estate Group Coaching.
Fast Real Estate. Pardon me. Really fucking fast real estate. I'll tell you that. I was supposed to be on a call with Elias before you guys, and I had a major family crisis, a screw up, and I had to deal with it. And I had to be honest instead of making up some fucking BS like, hey, I got to go sell another house. No, I have a family crisis. And I think the micro things, I think in our business is just being more honest with people, and you get more understanding right away. And I'll tell you what the major family crisis was. I did not pick up the frozen cookie dough for my kids' charity fundraiser yesterday. And I didn't know not frozen cookie dough can be really bad for people. And so I am currently baking cookies right now, and we're going to deliver them to people as a surprise and delight moment. So you take a dark moment, you figure out a solution, and now we're going to take the cookies baked to the people who order them in our little bay, and my kids are going to be home at lunch hour. We're going to do that. So just kind of, I've been baking and listening to you guys in the background on micro and what the goals are for Q1, Q2, and this is clearly not real estate moment, but how can you take the challenges and curveballs, learn from it, and then turn it into a surprise and delight moment? And I think right off the hop, you have to own your actions, right? Because that's the biggest thing. And if I said to my wife, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that I was busy selling houses, I couldn't pick up cookies. Not true, right? It just would have been worse, or something would have come out further down the road. I think that, and then being honest with Elias, 8 minutes before about to jump on call, like, dude, I gotta jump into this. Communication is key. And I think if we can do that in more than just real estate, everywhere else benefits. And if you're able to communicate in other areas of your life, it's easier to transition through and be honest, right? And so we've all dealt with stuff, and that's kind of my little win for the morning here. But it's those reminders. Honest, surprise and delight moments come from honesty, but it's also taking action. And my kids are going to know, why are we baking the cookies? Well, Dad didn't pick them up yesterday, and just dealing with that. So why didn't we get the feature sheets out yesterday? Well, this happened, and here's how I'm going to enhance it. Why didn't I make my phone calls? Curveball, put the effort in. Don't just stop when a curveball comes at you. Like you say, the next at bat, you can hit that home run. You're not going to sit in the dugout. Get back, get going, get back, get going. And like Brent Gove says, we're going to fail a lot, right? We do, like, I'm coming from the number 3 team of 2 in Canada. We did the 3rd most transactions in Canada. That's a lot of, thank you for the brand we're with. And that's a lot of failing. That's a lot of offers not getting through, but still just going, and delivering surprise and delight moments for our clients that we were able to help. And it adds up. 1 hour at a time, half a day at a time. Don't even think like 90-day quarters. Chunk your day down into a quarter of a day, right? Half the day you're going to sleep. What are you going to do with the next 8 hours? Break those down. And if you could find those little wins within that, those are micro wins. And you stack that up. Oh man, that's my next keynote, Elias.
Yeah, it's that.
Anyways, baking cookies, picking up kids. I see some claps. Yes. But you know what? Claps were showing up to this. That's a micro win. What you do, what you share, right? And the more we can take this from here and take those actions into our lives, great stuff happens, whether it's personal, business, and you never know who's watching. So you affect them as well. So
that's right, Jesse. Well, hey, brother, it's really good to see you. I'm looking forward to catching up, actually officially catching up. Yes, but we talk about this all the time. Rakitha said it last week, like taking massive action, but like owning that, right? If your life is not where you want it to be, it's no one's fault, you guys. It's no one's fault but our own, right? We all have the choice. Do I choose to go out and have one conversation with a person today that wants to potentially buy or sell real estate? That's my choice. Or am I going to fucking lollygag? It's literally, it's a choice. And then I have to look at myself in the mirror and say, that was me, that was my fault. And I'm going to own that, right? Own that. That's why I thought this is examine your relationship with your word. Don't talk about it, be about it, right? Show up because you're simply doing all the actions, right? Be that silent killer that just prospects every single day and books appointments. And then look at where you are. Cynthia, you had commented earlier, I know that we did this, I think it was last quarter, maybe even 2 quarters ago, and it seems like it's a thought-provoking moment for you. And so kind of wanted to see where your head's at, because we've done this before, and I'm so glad that we're coming full circle on this.
I love these T charts because what I do is like I write it down, and then what I'll do right after the call is I'll jot down like real quick on the 4 quadrants. And then I like stew on it. So I'll like go for a hike, go for a walk, or just like go for a workout, just like get the body moving so that the brain is also moving. No music, no podcast, just me and my inner thoughts. And then when I come back, the page is like full of stuff like, oh, I could have, my truth is this, my micro commitment. Oh, I know that I can do this and this and this as well. So what my suggestion to you guys would be is to like get some movement going so that the blood starts flowing to your head, and revisit this like Mr. Social Savvy was saying, revisit this more so than just once a quarter. Like have it up by your vision board and check yourself. Be like, oh, I did not do any of those micro commitments, right? And it just kind of puts me on point to be like, oh, I committed to myself. And typically when I'm committing to myself, I'm committing to others as well.
Love that. I love that, because at the end of the day, when you think about like the revision, you might have had for the past 3 months, you might have had the wrong vision. That's why it's okay to like at any given time, be like, you know what, hold on, this vision is not really compelling me. If I had the proper vision, then I would probably do the actions. But if I don't have the right vision, then I'm not getting pulled in the right direction. Let me just reshape some things, right? And it's okay, you guys. Like, it's okay to just say, you know what, my plan isn't working. Let me make some adjustments to that. It's okay. That's perfectly okay. So any other thoughts, any other dialogue, any other insight on this? Any of our guests want to chime in? Anybody have anything to say on this? Let's see here. Christian says, definitely going to add this on my bedroom door so I could look at it every time I walk out. Cool. Awesome. I love that. Any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, Elias, I have another thought. If
Yeah.
you're not opposed. Yeah, for everyone, I'm new here. Elias has invited me as a guest, checking out some really great things about the team. But this speaks to me big time because, in the past, when I was a victim, blaming everybody else, if I take a shot or fail, especially when I screw up and it's my fault and I know it, I, instead of taking responsibility and say, okay, it was a miss, we miss, 3 hits out of 7, you're still an all-star baseball player, but I'd focus on the 7 that I missed and roll over and wet myself and get angry and beat my head against the wall and beat myself up, which served nobody. Just because you take a shot doesn't mean you're out. And like Brent said yesterday, I failed more than anybody. Fail forward. That's how you learn. That's the human experience. So stop beating yourself up, thinking that it's all you, thinking that you're dead in the water and that the game's over. It's not. Get back up. And that's what Elias, you said this the other day, I believe it was on Monday's call, where you said the biggest determiner of success, I thought it was hunger. You said it was mental toughness. And I cannot agree with you more. It's mental toughness. And that comes in when you being able to pick yourself up and say, okay, I fucked up. The game's not over. I still have a 4th quarter. I'm going to make a difference. And what I do right now is going to make all the difference. So that's where the mental toughness comes in, to be able to pick yourself up after you fucked up, but to decide to not beat yourself up, but to learn from it and move forward.
Man, I love it, Tom. Thank you. Thank you for your insight. Let's go to Tara. Tara, where's your head at? This is your first time in our environment, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Super grateful for you to be able to be here and share your energy with us. So Tara, I don't know if you're having these type of coaching sessions or these conversations, but kind of tell us a little bit about where your head's at and what's going on in your mind.
Oh, well, I have an open house on Sunday. So that's, getting back into the game, I guess, to the grind, right? So, my focus is going to be on, lead gen, prospecting. And so I actually maybe had a question. So how would you follow, I mean, I don't know if it's too detailed for the coaching call today, but like how would you follow up with the open house leads that you get? I don't know if
Yeah,
that's-
so that's a good question, and we can have more of a conversation offline. But the number one thing is don't wait. If you're doing an open house on Sunday, I think that you should be reaching out to those people Sunday night, because what's going to happen is that they're going to get in the fold of their Monday. So I would follow up with them Sunday night.
Okay.
And so I would either send them a video, text, and call, or do all three of those. But Tara, hey Tara, it's Elias Sesudo. It was great to meet you at the open house at 123 Main Street. I just want to follow up with you, and I want to see, is this the house that you and your family are going to be submitting an offer on? Okay, cool. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't like about it. Because Tara, as soon as they tell you what they didn't like about the house, guess what you now have? You have a profile of what the ideal home looks like. So let me ask you, Mr. Consumer, seeing as this is not the house you're not going to be writing, who is the one that's going to help you find the 3-bedroom, 2-bath with the yard that you're looking for, so on and so forth, right? Cool. I'd like to be able to, and then you continue that conversation. So we could have a deeper conversation on that. Feel free to give me a call, Tara. Jesse, you had your hand up. Was that a hand or was it a finger?
That was a peace out. Have an amazing day. I got to get my kids, everybody.
Love
Great
you, bro.
sharing. And I just want to leave this here. Every action you do on a bigger picture helps to raise the bar in our industry, period. We've been slagged in so many ways. We have the opportunity to continue to raise the bar. So keep that in mind with your actions.
Love this. Absolutely love it. So Tara, I just put my phone number down below, but I promise you, if you follow up, you don't wait, you connect with those people. Even if they said they have an agent, some of them are just blowing smoke. Some of them don't have an agent. Obviously, if they do, respect that relationship, but follow up with them same day. And then it's also great to create a video before you even follow up with them. Hey, just want to say thank you for everyone that came through my open house. And then when you call them, it's a call to action. Are you guys going to be submitting an offer on this home? Yes, no. And then if they say no, you're finding the exact profile of what they're looking for in a home. And guess what? You're going to be that person that helps them. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys, let's do this. I'm going to go full circle. I want to get some key takeaways from everybody. And
hey, guys, real quick. Hey, man, I just want to introduce myself. My name's Martin Reese. I'm a newer agent into EXP from Riverbank, Oakdale area. And my homegirl, Ms. Gonzalez Christian, she invited me over onto the Zoom call. And I just want to, give her a quick thanks. By far, one of the best Zoom calls I've been on. Unfortunately, I got to bring my little one over to the hospital right now. You know how it is with kids. But I'll look forward to definitely jumping on to more of these Zoom calls, man. And I got a lot of great, content out of it. And I look forward to meeting you guys in person one day.
Well, bro, we appreciate you being here, man. And hopefully baby's okay. And just simply thank you for being here, man. So you said Christian invited you?
Yeah, my girl,
Very
Christian.
Cool. Awesome, brother. Well, hey, man, you take care. We appreciate you being here. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Cam, let's go over to you, Cam. Takeaways from today's session today.
Takeaway from, well, I guess the one main thing, examine your relationship with your word. That was probably my biggest takeaway. And the reason being, and this kind of goes into a little bit back, I felt like my relationship with my dad, he has given me a lot of insight. And I think I have kind of taken that for granted because I always know it in the back of my head, but I don't practice it myself as much as I would like to. But I preach it. I talk about it all the time to people, but I don't do it myself. And so my relationship with my word is that I am great at telling other people what will help them, but I don't use that to help myself. And so I need to fix that relationship with my word and know that I am actually preaching what I do myself, because I do know that it's beneficial. And I do know that there's a lot of things that I can say that, getting my meditation in, waking up early, exercising, having a good, happy gut so that your brain and your mind and your soul are all working, as one, bringing that best self to being an agent. And other people see that. But I would say that's my biggest takeaway.
Powerful. You know what? I'm going to let you guys in. I'm not going to say any names, but it's a family member of mine right now that when I was in San Diego, ended up in the hospital and is really, really sick. And it's all self-induced from alcohol. Is in the hospital right now. And if he drinks another drink, he could probably die. And so, and why I say this is because he's the super, super motivating person. Like you talk to him, he's a financial planner, super motivating, the guy that you talk to will uplift your spirits, you know, but behind the scenes, he's not in alignment with himself. He's not healthy. He's not doing the things that he's telling other people that they should be doing. And then it fucking caught up to him and he's in the hospital. And now it's like the people that he's been telling all this shit that's motivating are kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. I kind of feel like it was a charade. That's what people are like, what the fuck, dude? I feel like it was a charade. Like, it's like all of a sudden, if I was fucking this coke addict and fucking addicted to meth, like, wait a minute, I thought Elias was a good dad or something, right? Like it would like surface, right? And so it's just like, we got to live by these words. We have to do these actions, right? If I'm going to ask you guys to work hard, what if I didn't work hard, right? Like, what if Kenny didn't work hard? And I'm asking you guys, and I'm asking my leaders, I'm saying, Cynthia, work your ass off and let's grow and let's grind. And like, I'm at home taking a nap in the middle of the day and I'm not doing shit, right? It's just like, I'm asking you guys to work hard, but like, I want to lead by example, you guys. So Kim, I appreciate you sharing that. Let's hear from one other person and then we'll cut out for the day. I'm going to go to Raquel. Raquel, let's hear from you. What are some of your key takeaways from today's session?
I think, hi, good morning,
Hi.
everyone. Sorry, excuse my voice. I have really bad allergies, but I think just remembering why I'm in this business and staying focused. I think a lot of the times I could get distracted with my family life or whatever is going on around me. So just staying focused and just trying to be productive, even if it's like one thing for the day. I think that'll just help me out because this quarter, I mean, I'm not like a top producer or anything, but it has been the most active I've been probably my whole time in real estate.
So Raquel, so stay here for a second because this is powerful. So you got a little emotional. Like, why? You got emotional when you said this is the busiest you've ever been in your business. Why did you get emotional, if you don't mind me asking?
Just proud of myself.
Man, that's powerful, right? Like, let's give her some love, right? Like, just gets emotional because she knows that she's done the hard work, right? And it's why. Not because of right now. It's like she knows what she's been through over the last 3 months, right? Good for you. I love it. Raquel, great stuff. I love it. Christian, you had your hand up. Let's go over to you. Key takeaways from today's session.
Yeah, my key takeaways are never leave an appointment without a next step for the client. And also when you're checking in with the client, bring value. Don't just check in to check in like I've kind of been doing.
I love this, right? Audit your phone calls before you make the phone calls. Ask yourself, how can I take this relationship to the next step and where am I going in this conversation, right? I don't want to fumble into the opportunity. Like Dan said, I don't want to fish without the bait, right? I want to make sure that I'm focused and I'm intentional with my conversation. So Christian, really, really good takeaway. Let's hear from one other person and then we'll come full circle. Let's go to Mama San. Andrea, let's hear from you. Key takeaways from today's session.
I would say don't offer something you can't deliver. So yeah, don't dish out something you ain't gonna follow up with. If you're going fishing, bring bait. I really like that one. And let's see, last one. Don't call just to check in.
Yes.
Yeah, the check-in thing, like, hey, I'm just checking in. It's just kind of like BS. It's like, yeah, there's got to have some kind of end.
Yeah.
And do it. So yeah,
it's the perpetual baton pass.
Yeah.
Perpetual baton pass. I love it. So Colette, you had your hand up and then we'll come full circle.
Yeah, thank you. So always get tons out of these sessions. Thank you all for your contributions. Wanted to say I'm in contract. What?
Yes.
Yeah, 14 offers. I got my buyers in on that bad boy.
Hell
We're
yeah.
super stoked. Over in Havens Court, cute, super cute house on 67th Ave. On my way to a listing appointment after this. Yeah, keep getting back up on the pony.
Woo, I love it.
And in between, when you get down on yourself or whatever, you gotta just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it again and doing it and doing it and doing it, doing it.
I knew it was going there. I was feeling
yeah.
it. Okay,
Well,
right.
once I started saying it, I was like, what? Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Let's keep doing it. Love you.
Appreciate you. Listen, you guys, if someone wants to start this off, pop this off, accountability, I want to go into Slack, new commitments for the week, you guys. And listen, this is opt-in, but I'm not seeing a lot of people put their goals in for the week. And so we got on a really good conversation, so we didn't spend that time. But I want to encourage you guys to publicly declare what you guys are willing to commit to for this next week, right? Bite-sized chunks out of your business. So I want to push you, I want to implore you, go to Slack, go to the general channel. Anybody can start it. Commitments for the week. So I want to ask, does somebody want to own starting that new conversation out right now in Slack?
I'll do it right now.
Colette's going to do that.
And I went to the gym. Okay.
Perfect. And then I want everyone to follow suit and just simply put in their commitments for the week. This is what I'm committed to accomplishing this week, and let's hold each other accountable. You guys, next week's Tuesday meeting is going to be in the office. We're going to talk about everything that's going to happen in Q2. We're going to talk about new initiatives that we have as a company, new programs that are going to help us grow and elevate. We obviously know where we came from, but where we are going, it's going to take different tools, different techniques. And so I want to bring us all together, more information on that. But I'm beyond grateful.
1 second, let me connect my headphones.
This is not gratitude by just saying it because it's a novelty, you guys. I truly believe in abundance. I believe in gratitude, and I believe in expressing that in everything that we do. So share, and I want to give you guys opportunity to bring people to this environment because it's working for us, it's worked for others, and I've seen so much great dialogue and thoughts and insight and heart and vulnerability right in this room. That's how you lead. If I can offer you an environment where you could come and learn and get insights on the market, also be vulnerable and share and give and have all this great energy, it's probably something you'd want to join, right? Yeah, absolutely. Come and join group coaching. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. You don't have to leave, but you can't stay here. Cynthia, go ahead and stay on. I'll stop this meeting. But you guys, appreciate you, and to all of our guests, thank you for spending some time with us today. Peace. Have a wonderful day, everybody.